Hi, I'm Haley Menard from The Sugar Burger, and today we are tackling cinnamon rolls. Not just any cinnamon rolls, the best ever cinnamon rolls. Miko agrees. That's his I agree button. So let's see if this recipe works out and if it's all it's cracked up to be. Let's crush this dough. We are going to make our cinnamon roll dough. And you might be like, what is that thing? We haven't seen you use that yet. It's a dough hook. We're getting crazy today. Basically, this simulates kneading with your hands because it's 2025 and we don't need to put in that kind of manual labor. We'll let the KitchenAid do it for us. We're going to start this with milk. We're gonna warm it up and then we're gonna add yeast. Let's hit the microwave, a fan favorite. We're popping the milk in there for about 1 minute. You want it to be between 105 and 115 degrees because this stuff likes it warm and it also likes it sweet. So we're gonna add sugar. So basically this is just like a very finicky, I will not work in cold conditions, wrap it up kind of ingredient. So you wanna make sure that you have it nice and warm. Not too hot, temperamental. Last 10 seconds of the milk warm up. Wonderful. Milk is steaming. This is 3/4 cup. We're gonna use our instant read thermometer to make sure that it's not too hot, not too cold. The Goldilocks of baking ingredients, yeast. So 106, 116. So that's pretty hot. Yeast is gonna riot and strike and not work if it's too hot like that. So I'm gonna transfer it to this bowl because this bowl's hot and this bowl's not. See if we can bring it down a few degrees. I'm going back in. 109. Yeah, she's up there. Continuing to rise. We can help it along, give it a little stir against the cold bowl, get some airflow in there. I think it's really valuable for you to see me mess it up. Then you know what to do when you mess it up. Let's see if that helped out. 105. Oh yeah, that slowed way down. 113, that's just below 115, which is what I said earlier. So we're gonna go for yeast entry. This is rapid rise instant yeast. That's what this best ever cinnamon roll is called for. So we're gonna go ahead and use this. If you have active yeast that doesn't say instant, sometimes it needs to like hang out in its milk hot tub for a little while before it's going to do anything for you. You'll have to see it like foam and make sure it's alive and ready to work. This stuff you just kind of like dump and go. So I was actually really in favor of this being the chosen yeast. In she goes. Along with the yeast, we're going to add the sugar because yeast eats sugar as like a main diet food, just like me. Egg, duck egg. So the recipe calls for chicken eggs, 1 chicken egg, 1 chicken egg yolk, but these are huge. And so I'm just going to use 1 duck egg. I feel like that's fair. And then if the recipe goes bad, I can't blame the author, but I can blame Wanda or Wanda Jr., whoever laid this. Last but not least, butter, melted, cooled. Why is it cooled? Well, 1, you're putting it in with an egg, so you probably don't want to cook the egg. And 2, this temperamental yeast isn't gonna like having its hot tub all messed up because you added butter. So let's get this going with the dough hook. You probably should use like a paddle mixer for this and then switch to the dough hook, but I want to do less dishes, so I'm going to use this for everything. Let's pop the duck egg in. You just have to wait for the dough hook to catch that yolk. It's like an inner tube in there, just floating around. Look at it. That's why you use a different attachment. Done. Roasted. Now our melted but cooled butter. Once all of this is combined, we're gonna get right to our dry ingredients. This recipe called for bread flour. I don't have any bread flour right now, and it was like $9 at the store, so I thought I'm just gonna use regular flour, which is totally fine, but the texture is gonna be different. The main difference between bread flour, cake flour, all-purpose flour is the protein content, and that gives you a different texture. So this will be fine, but I guess it's not a fair judgment of the best cinnamon rolls ever, since I've already bastardized the recipe in 2 different ways. So let's see how many more we can get in before this is over. Our dry ingredients can be added now, which is just 3 cups of flour and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Just gonna dump this in here irresponsibly. It's a lot of flour. The dough hook doesn't like hit you with the Scarface punishment like the paddle does, so that's kind of nice. That's a positive. Once this all combines, you're gonna let the dough hook do its work for 8 minutes. That might seem crazy. It's a really, really long time to knead something, but just imagine if you had to do that by hand for 8 minutes. That's way too long. That's outrageous. Nobody wants to be working that long on dough. Here it is, all combined up in a nice little ball. It might look ready for action at this point, but it's not. This works the gluten. So I don't probably have 8 minutes of things to say, so we can just go ahead and check back. Do you hear that flapping? Flap, flap, flap. She's ready. She's all loosened up, ready to get cinnamon rolled. So we're gonna stop this. It should be sticky and soft. Soft. Looks soft. Yep, it's sticky. Okay, great. So those are our 2 kind of markers here. If you want to throw some extra flour on it to make sure that you don't get it all over your hands, feel free to do so. But I'm feeling dangerous today. This is the first time in a really long time that we have cooked something that has the Jesus complex. It needs to rise and then rise again. So we're gonna do our first rise in this bowl. We're gonna spray it so that this doesn't stick to the sides. And once this has risen, and by risen, I mean doubled in size, we're going to roll it out, make the cinnamon rolls, and then those are gonna rise. So that's your second rise, that's your Jesus rise. So spray this, try to get it out. Oh my goodness. I want it to be one cohesive ball, so I'm gonna do that right here. Spank it, and in it goes. This is just going to sit here under cover because nobody likes to rise from dead dough and be seen. Cover it up. And I have a special treat. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready for this knowledge? So my entire life, I thought that the bottom of the oven was to store pans. What did you think it was?
Same.
To store pans. It's actually a proofing area for things that need to rise. And you can like warm it up. Yeah, this is a true thing. I've never seen it happen in my however many years I've been alive, but I saw it on the Great British Baking Show. They're all taking these things in and out of the drawers with like plastic on it. I'm like, what are they doing that? Putting that in the pan storage, and that's not what it's for. So over to the warming drawer. Look at this. This is in the drawer and it's on single warming. I have dough on my finger too, don't look at that. Single warming, no pans in there. We're using it for its intended purpose. Now don't get the warming drawer too hot because your butter will melt and then you'll just be effed in a whole different way. But it's magical. It's rainy today. It's not a good day for yeast. Doesn't like to be wet, doesn't like to be cold. Totally get it. But we have a warming drawer. So now we wait for it to rise, about 45 minutes. Are you ready? It's the unveiling of the first rise. That looks pretty big and fat. I love it. That's a happy dough. So to check really, you wanna just give it a press. It's not coming back up. So this guy's ready. He's ready to be rolled out and made into some cinnamon rolls. So we're gonna want to flour our surface so we don't stick everything to the counter. And now we have to use like science and math because there's measuring involved. It'll be fine. This needs to be 10 by 14. I'm gonna get the air out to give us a fighting chance here and like kind of a square shape. When you're rolling something like this out, you don't go back and forth like this because it's someone like pulling your arms like that. You don't know which way to go. So you have to go this way and then this way. Give the dough some direction. You're the boss. I feel like this is already way too long. That's probably more than 14 inches. Let me see. Let me see how much bigger than 14 inches this is. Oh, 16. That's not terrible. Got a good eye. Just make sure we don't stick to the counter. That's probably bigger than 10 for sure. Yeah. So we're just gonna scooch it. Nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned scooch. It's 15. Oh, still 15. But we're at 10, so we love that news. I mean, this isn't the worst of it. This really matters because this is where you're gonna be cutting your rolls. I think we're gonna call that close enough for cinnamon work. Now the fun part. You want 4 tablespoons of soft butter, 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, and a generous 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. We're going to mix the brown sugar and cinnamon together. That's going to be the star. Cinnamon rolls. See how that happened? Mix this together. So we want even cinnamon distribution. This butter should be spreadable soft, and I'm like not satisfied with this. So I'm gonna put it in the microwave for like 7 seconds, just to make it more spreadable. Perfect. It's ready to party now. It's nice and loosened up. You're gonna spread it everywhere except for a little bit up here, because this is what you're gonna use to like attach the roll and hold it in its roll formation. A lot of butter, a lot of sugar. Not great for the banana crowd. If you don't know what that means, you should watch more videos. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, let's sprinkle the star. Make sure you get a nice even coverage here. You don't want someone getting a non-cinnamon cinnamon roll. So nice and pretty. All right, time to roll it up. Let's get nice and tight at the bottom here to make that real nice spiral that's so satisfying to look at. And then it gets a little easier. Then the seam you want on the very bottom, because it's gonna hold everybody together. Whew. Okay, next. This recipe recommended cutting your cinnamon rolls with either a serrated knife or unflavored dental floss. And my hot take is I don't think you should have to go to the bathroom to get a tool to do kitchen work. That's gonna be a no from me. I understand that, like, you know, it's like a sharp string to make the nice cuts, but let's just use kitchen tools in the kitchen. That's my hot take, but you know, no shade, kind of. I guess that was pretty much just saying that's a ridiculous idea. Okay, so cutting off the ends because ain't no filling here, so I don't have a use for you. Nobody wants to get that. Unless you have some sort of vendetta against someone that you could settle in that way, that's fine. You do you. Here we go, we're gonna math. We have to measure it and make 9 even cinnamon rolls. It's 9.5 inches. It's 9 inches. Perfect. Okay, I love that for us. That makes things easy. I'm gonna lay this across here, and I'm just gonna kind of make little zhuzh marks where I'm gonna cut. And yes, this is my mother's seamstress tape from quite possibly the late 70s, but I still have it. It's coming very handy. Nice and gentle. Look at her. So pretty. Look at that pinwheel on them. It's a lot of cinnamon, and I love that for us. These are sticking to the counter more than I want, so I probably should have refloured. But you live and you learn. Oh no, that one's totally getting like, what do you call it when someone takes your skin off? Flayed?
Oh, scalped?
No. Well, that's what just happened to this cinnamon roll. That's okay, everything's gonna be fine. No one's gonna know. Let's just get our pan ready and forget about it. We have 9 by 9. I've been on a real parchment paper kick since the whole lemon bar situation, where they're like, just put it in there and you can lift the whole thing out. Why have I not been doing that every day of my life? I don't know. So I'm just gonna do 2 pieces of parchment paper so that I can use them like handles. Now we're going to line these up. Oh, he lost his innards. I feel like the measuring accuracy was terrible. That's all right. Now you can like show people how much you love them by the size of cinnamon roll you give them. And here they are. And now they have to do their rising a second time. So they're gonna go and get cloaked again, because we do this in privacy. Cloak it again. Get your parchment paper out of the way. And let it rise for like another 45 minutes. And then they're going to be ready to go into the oven and fulfill their destiny. It's time to unveil our risen again cinnamon rolls. Ta-da! Look at them all touching each other and sharing their space. They're like a big happy family now. They really bonded while they were in here. I love that for them. These guys are gonna go in the oven now. They're ready. They're ready to become cinnamon rolls at 350 degrees. And we know it's 350 degrees because of the oven thermometer. And it's going to be about 20 to 25 minutes until these guys are ready to come out. So let's toss them in so we can get to eating. Oh, you want me to watch the oven? I do that every time. I'm done talking. In the oven. Yep, 350 degrees. That's what the thermometer says. Bada bing. Cinnamon rolls are ready. There's been a plot twist. The recipe said 20 to 25 minutes. I think we're at a solid like 40. 35, 40. The edges are starting to brown now. So since the edges are brown, I'm gonna take them out. You wanna keep the middles nice and soft. That's kind of the whole point. So let's go get them. Oven wok. Oh, I need 2 for this. A couple of them kind of like turkey popped. I love that, a little character. So if you pull the parchment, oh, you can't see this. If you pull the parchment, you can see that the edges are nice and browned. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for them to be kind of letting you know, hey, I'm about to freaking overcook here, so why don't you pull me out? So that's what I've done. Now they need to cool. So let's go ahead and make the most special sidekick, cream cheese frosting. Best part, last part. Let's make the frosting. This is a cream cheese frosting, very classic for a cinnamon roll. We have butter, cream cheese, vanilla, powdered sugar. Basically throw it in here and whip it up into a frenzy until it's ready to participate in the cinnamon roll festivities. Cream cheese, we're gonna go with 4 ounces, which is half of a brick, as it were. Throw that in there. Butter is 3 tablespoons. And then 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. I'm gonna whip these 2 guys up a little bit first and then throw in the sugar. Butter and cream cheese combined. We're going to get all of this off of the wire whisk, scritch down all the goodness. We're going to do 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. I'm using a 1/4 cup 3 times because I do math. I know we've had some issues there in the past, but look at me go now, fractions. Very impressive. Let's combine this. And last but not least, our Kirkland capful of vanilla. Get it really cranking. Gonna get a little extra volume out of this, but it's not gonna be like a crazy fluffy buttercream or anything like that, which is fine. This is meant for slathering. All right, I'm calling it. So here we go. Our beautiful cream cheese frosting that we are going to slather all over our beautifully cooked cinnamon rolls. These guys have been cooling for a little while, but you know, you eat these boys warm. So I'm gonna pull them out of their little nest. I love it. I don't want that under there. How do we wanna do this? I'm gonna try to pull one apart, pull one off. Is that crazy? Should I get a knife? Should I slather it and then pull? All right, let's get the parchment off because we know that's a for sure want. So we're gonna use the spinning method. Okay, now what? What if I want to take, this one looks very nice, very pretty. These are like, they're a tight crew, you know? They're boys. They want to be separated from each other, right? Do you smell that? It smells so good, Miko. All right, let's get him off of here. Pretty. Oh yeah. He's had a good time tonight. Beautiful. Is that enough? Maybe like a zhuzh more. I think we like it. I think I'm pleased. Should we do the taste test? This was a labor of love. It better be appreciated. All right, let's get the curmudgeon in here. Nate! Look at this. Cinnamon roll.
That looks good.
Isn't he pretty?
Dripping.
Yeah, it is dripping. I'll give you a fork in case you're feeling demure.
I'm excited. I should have just bit it.
You should have. Would have been more manly.
There's a lot.
Really?
It's really good.
Gotta swallow it.
It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Above or below Cinnabon?
Above Cinnabon.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful.
Did you use their recipe or something?
I used the recipe called Best Ever Cinnamon Rolls from a very humble recipe stress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These came out fantastic.
I did bastardize it a little with a duck egg and not using the right kind of flour. So it really must be the best ever recipe. Out of 10?
Warm too?
Warm too. Oh, center nugget. Do you want the center nugget?
Go for it.
I can have the center nugget. That's the friggin' money shot for cinnamon rolls.
Did it take long? How long does it take to make?
Well, I don't know because I made 27. I made 3 batches so that I could keep up for the camera. So I don't know. But like an hour and a half when we went through all the steps. But that cuts rise time, so I don't know. But I think they are best ever.
Best ever?
Best ever.
Good job. Okay, see you guys.
That's not gonna make it.
Do you want to keep that?
It's kind of funny. I'll keep it. You can see him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's fully
Visible. Okay. So when we add this in, we're going to continue on with the rest of the ingredients, and Susan's gonna cut that out because I didn't need to say that. I should have brought these all over here. I was wondering what was wrong. That's what I usually do, so we can look at them. I'm waiting for it to combine so that you have a shot of something. And I was gonna make a hand job joke with the manually working dough, but it didn't work out. I couldn't get there fast enough, which is what you would say if you were doing that for 8 minutes, I guess. It's time to
one more time.
start over. Over to the warming drawer. And now I'm gonna swap these out, so you gotta cut this out so they don't know. They don't know, because this one's already risen. It's first rise.
We've got 3 going.
Yeah, it's gonna be 27 cinnamon rolls. This is for the pleasure of our viewers. Is this risen? Oh my God, it's risen. Should I switch out the cloths?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're gonna know. This recipe recommended. We're gonna have to pause. They're gonna know.
Yeah, we have to
They're gonna know. Let me just look at these. If you're a baked good, cloak it again. Yep. All right, I think these are done. Because the edges are brown. So I don't, yeah. Oh, I gotta get rid of this.
Let's get rid of that first.
Rolling. Oh my God. Yep, 350 degrees. That's what the thermometer says.